My name is Gabriela Hirt. I am a member of the Gage Gallery Arts Collective, and I'm here today at our new show. It's called Inside Out. And Inside Out is a show by 3 women artists, myself, and then Deborah, Leigh, and Tanya. Deborah Leigh is a painter, and Tanya is a driftwood sculptor, but in this show she has been doing a more inside-out theme, which she interpreted with wire sculptures. So I'm going to tell you a little bit how this show came together. So when we were brainstorming about this show, I think it was like 7 months ago, and like just talking about our art, and we realized that there was one thing we have in common, even though our art of course is quite different, and that is that we all work very intuitively. Like, we don't plan. We just start working on a piece, and it kind of develops. So based on that, we talked about like showing ourselves, like expressing ourselves, and the idea of Inside Out was born. And we realized we were wondering, what does it really mean? Like, it probably means something different for each of us. So we began this process of working independently but collaborating in a 3-way chat, where we every day, or every couple of days, we would share what we've been working on, what we've been thinking about, maybe sharing pages of our sketchbook. And that was quite a wonderful side effect of this show, and really brought us much joy, and also aha moments, inspiration. And so within this process, we realized that, for example, for me, Inside Out meant really watching my process, like being very aware. Why do I create? How do I create? And I was doing that by a sketchbook practice that I've had before, but now really diligently, every day drew or expressed myself in words or in painting in the sketchbook. And also, we then realized, okay, we want to show that process. So that's why in this show you don't only see the work, you also see the sketchbooks, or some showing what our process is. So and then the result, I think, is quite raw and immediate, and you can see that it's quite spontaneous. And for me, it was very, very helpful to even more go into a direction, or even more expressing really myself, and not going after an idea of what I maybe want to create in the end. And this spontaneous expression of maybe emotions or impressions, or also things that maybe happened outside. Of course, COVID happened, and Black Lives Matters, and all these inside and outside events in the larger and the smaller field find their way in my art. And this Inside Out theme was very, very helpful to be more bold and try new ways, and be more raw. So I want to just show you, or talk a little bit about this piece here, which is called Words to Girl. And it's a very personal piece, because I painted it in a with regards with my daughter, and some worries that I have about my daughter. And it started, and you can still, see here, there are some quite like dark or ugly parts to it, and it started quite angry actually. So, with a lot of big arm movements and a lot of physical expression of my, emotional, how should I call it, like uproar about my daughter, and it was actually quite healing to do, and so this is, to me, that's what I mean with inside out, that I actually, I don't even really know what comes out. It's not that I go there and say, okay, now I'm gonna digest this this issue. No, it just kind of happened, and then after a while I'm like, oh yeah, oh my God, this is actually working through this this difficulties. So and what's also new for me in this piece was I used a lot of charcoal and a lot, yeah, like a lot of black underneath, and also this kind of, like more of a transparent and then an opaque kind of tension. So yeah, so that's words to my daughter. I have another piece I would like to show you, and that's over here. I would like to tell you about this painting, which I'm actually quite happy about how it came about. It developed very quickly, very much, like in flow and not using my intellectual part of my brain, more, really big movements, physical movements, and it started with a lot of writing. And this may be a good time to tell you a bit about my background, which is in writing. I used to be a travel journalist and translator, so I also like to express myself in words, but exchanged the computer for the paintbrush about 5 years ago, and also the writing part was mostly that part of my life was mostly happening in Germany, which is where I'm from. I'm from Munich originally, and I moved to Canada 21 years ago now. I have 2 children here and a dog. And so back to the painting, it started with a lot of words, and then developed very quickly, trying out new things, which is something I like, but on the other hand I'm also terrified of. So I'm quite happy that in this painting I was able to really not think too much about outcome, and for example, the new thing is that I used a big spatula, moving paint around, without really caring too much how it mixes, and then going in it with like a big, I forget what that was. I think actually a chopstick, to make these lines, and it was really fun. It was like, a child like playing with paint, and I wasn't sure if was it really finished. It looked quite raw to me, but after much humming and hawing, I decided to put it in the show, since it is about inside out and taking risks. That's what it means to me, and showing myself, and not just like polished and nice, but just we're so many things. Like we are beautiful, but we're also messy, and so yeah, I think that's why it's important to have that painting here, because it really is also the more darker elements, I think, that come through. So yeah, I invite you to come and see our show. It's on until September 5. Opening hours are from 11 till 5 every day. And except for Monday and Sunday, we're open. And often one of the artists is, I mean, there's always a member artist here at the gallery, so you can always chat with an artist. And then, of course, one of us exhibiting is also here often. Thank you.